Chapter 1. The Team Up. Ellie Miller strode into the police station, her dark hair tied back in a loose ponytail and a sarcastic smile playing on her lips. She'd been called in by the chief to help with a new case, and she could already hear the grumblings of the officers as she walked past their desks. A private investigator working with the police force was a rare occurrence, but Ellie had proven herself as a valuable asset on their last case, and the chief was willing to bend the rules to get her expertise. As she approached the chief's office, she noticed the tall, brooding figure of Fox Jones leaning against the wall, his arms folded across his chest. He was a cop through and through, smart, observant, and fiercely dedicated to his job. But he was also grumpy, which made him a difficult partner for Ellie. They'd worked together on a case before, and the results had been less than ideal. "Ah, Miller, there you are," the chief barked as Ellie walked into his office. "I've got a new case for you and Jones to work on. A painting has been stolen from the city art gallery, and we need you to track it down." Ellie raised an eyebrow. "A stolen painting, really? I thought that was more the territory of Interpol or some fancy art detective." The chief sighed, rubbing his temples. "Normally, yes, but the gallery owner is a friend of the mayor, and he's requested our assistance. Besides, this painting is worth a fortune, and the thief could be dangerous." Ellie glanced over at Fox, who was still leaning against the wall, his face expressionless. "What's the matter, Jones? Afraid you'll get your hands dirty?" Fox glared at her, his eyes cold. "I don't need your help, Miller. I can solve this case on my own." Ellie smirked. "Oh, I'm sure you could, but where's the fun in that?" Chapter 2. The Case of the Missing Painting. The City Art Gallery was an impressive building, all sleek lines and modern architecture. As Ellie and Fox entered, they were met with the hushed whispers and quiet footsteps that seemed to permeate all art galleries. The gallery owner, a balding man with a nervous disposition, led them to the empty space on the wall where the painting had once hung. "It's a tragedy, I tell you," he said, wringing his hands. "That painting was the centerpiece of our collection, and now it's just gone." Ellie studied the empty space, taking in the faint outline of dust that marked where the painting had been. "Any leads on who might have taken it?" The gallery owner shook his head. "Not a clue. The security footage was wiped clean, and there were no signs of forced entry. It's like the painting just vanished into thin air." Fox frowned, his eyes narrowing as he examined the scene. "What about the insurance policy on the painting? Has that been checked?" The gallery owner hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, of course. I'd never dream of defrauding the insurance company. The painting was insured for a substantial sum, but I assure you, I'd much rather have the artwork back than the money." Ellie glanced at Fox, sensing that he was onto something. "Well, we'll do our best to find your painting, sir. In the meantime, I suggest you beef up your security measures." Chapter 3. The Trail Goes Cold. Over the next few days, Ellie and Fox chased down leads, interviewed potential suspects, and examined the gallery's security measures. But it seemed like every clue they found led them to a dead end. The painting had simply disappeared, and there was no concrete evidence to suggest who might have taken it. As they sat in their makeshift office at the police station, Ellie couldn't help but feel frustrated. She knew they were missing something, some crucial piece of the puzzle that would bring the whole case together. But what? Fox was leaning back in his chair, his eyes closed and his fingers steepled under his chin. "We're going about this all wrong," he muttered. "We're focusing on the how when we should be focusing on the why. Why would someone want to steal this painting?" Ellie snorted. "Maybe they just really like art?" Fox opened one eye and glared at her. "You're not helping, Miller," she shrugged, grinning at him. "Just trying to lighten the mood, Jones. But you're right, we need to figure out the motive. Who would benefit the most from the painting being stolen?" Fox sat up straight, his eyes suddenly focused. "The owner," he said, his voice low. "He has the most to gain from the painting's disappearance, both in terms of insurance money and publicity for his gallery." Ellie nodded, her mind racing. It's worth looking into, at least. Let's go pay our nervous friend another visit. Chapter 4. The Unraveling. Confronting the gallery owner was a delicate task. They needed to tread carefully, gathering evidence without tipping him off that they were onto his scheme. Ellie and Fox returned to the gallery, this time posing as insurance investigators, checking up on the missing paintings policy. As they questioned him about the details of the policy, the gallery owner grew increasingly agitated. His hands shook as he handed over the paperwork, and his eyes darted around the room as if looking for an escape. Fox pressed him on the inconsistencies in his story, his voice calm and steady. You said the painting was insured for a substantial sum, but according to this policy, it's worth far more than you claimed. Why the discrepancy? The gallery owner stammered, his face pale. I must have made a mistake when filling out the paperwork. I didn't mean to undervalue the painting. Ellie leaned in, her eyes fixed on his. Or maybe you were trying to cover your tracks, make it look like you had nothing to gain from the painting's disappearance. The gallery owner's eyes widened, and he began to sweat profusely. I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do such a thing. Fox held up a hand, silencing him. We have enough evidence to bring you in for further questioning, Mr. Gallery Owner. I suggest you cooperate. Chapter 5. The Reveal. Back at the police station, the gallery owner finally broke down under the pressure of Ellie and Fox's relentless questioning. He confessed to stealing the painting himself, hiding it in a storage unit across town, and then staging the theft to collect the insurance money. As the police officers led him away in handcuffs, Ellie couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. They'd cracked the case, and the missing painting would soon be returned to its rightful place. Fox approached her, a grudging smile on his face. Not bad, Miller. I guess you're not completely useless after all. Ellie smirked, folding her arms across her chest. Why, thank you, Jones. I'll take that as the highest form of praise coming from you. He shook his head, chuckling. I suppose we make a decent team after all. Maybe we should do this again sometime. Ellie pretended to consider it, then nodded. Sure, why not? But next time, try to be a little less grumpy, okay? Fox rolled his eyes, but the smile on his face betrayed his amusement. No promises, Miller. No promises.